Anybody not comfortable with that? Excellent. Thanks. Okay. And I think we've all been spending enough time on Zoom. Does anybody need a little refresher in navigating the session? People are pretty comfortable with it? Not because you want to be, but because you have to be?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Thanks so much for making time on your Sunday morning and what turned out to be, wasn't supposed to be so nice, but I can see, I'm sitting outside on my mother-in-law's patio and it's gorgeous out. So after 11 o'clock, I hope you're all doing something to enjoy your day. It's going to be glorious outside. I thought maybe we would just start with just some quick introductions. And I'll just, if I know we have some folks we have a very small group of people who are new to the board, but then there are some of you who've been around, and we'll be sending out invitations to match our new board members with some of our long-term board members so that you'll have a buddy to go through the process. And we'll be taking care of that this week, but I thought this might be a nice opportunity for folks to say hello to each other. And so what I'll do is I'll just call on you. This way we won't have anyone bumping up against each other, and you can just tell us, say hello and let us know how long you've been on the board. And we'll have a chance to kind of get to know each other a little bit more as we go along. All right, I'm gonna start with Rick Cohen.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Rick Cohen, and I believe this is my 3rd year on the board.
Nice, we're happy to have you. Betsy?
Likewise.
Good morning, I'm Betsy Schimberg, and I think this is my 2nd year on the board.
Excellent, thank you. Gail?
Oh, hi. Oh, Tanya, could you, I think it'd be great if you'd put us all back on gallery view because I can't see the speaker.
That'd be good.
Oh, actually, I have you on gallery view.
You,
So maybe
no, but you're sharing the screen though.
Okay. Is that
Oh, that's better. Oh, that's great.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that way
Yeah.
we can see who's speaking. Hi, I'm Gail Solomon. I'm sorry, what was I supposed to say?
Well, we know we have a mix of board and executive committee members, so we
Oh, I'm in the
tend to get a sense
executive.
of names, putting face with names, and how long you've been providing support to the board.
And I put those instructions in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see.
Judy Mosley, how long have I been on the board? I can't remember. This is my second term executive committee, so I've been on the board for quite a while.
Bob Oster?
Hello, everyone. Happy end of summer. I've been on the board for a few years, banging around. Let's put it that way.
Right. A good resource there. Avis?
Hi, everyone. This is my 2nd year.
Thank you. All right, Bob Sandy?
Bob's on mute.
No, Bob, we're having trouble hearing you.
I don't think he has his speaker on.
Maybe your speaker's not on. Technology. We'll come back to you, Bob, if you want to see if you can work it out. Elaine can help you. If anyone can help you, it's Elaine.
Maybe leave the meeting, come back, and
Yep.
make sure you're on speaker.
I was just gonna say, so Elaine and Bob, do you want to log out and come on back in and see if that helps? All right, perfect. All right, Mindy?
Hi, my name's Mindy, and this I think is my 5th year on the board. It's my 2nd term.
Thanks, Mindy. Carol?
Hi, I'm Carol Foreman. This is my 1st year on the board.
Welcome. Suzanne?
Hi, I'm Suzanne Borstein. This is my 1st year on the board.
Stuart?
Feldman. I've been on the board since Fred Franklin, so quite a number of years.
So not a number, but a person, right?
I don't even know how long ago that was.
Probably 3 terms ago, right?
Rob did a double. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Exactly. Amy? Amy, are you frozen?
Sorry, yeah, I'm here. Sorry. I'm Amy Orth. This is my second year on the board.
Excellent. Thanks, Amy. Jane?
Hi, I'm Jane Linden. This is my first year on the board and my first meeting.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you.
Bruce?
Hi, I'm Bruce Goldstein, and this is year 5, and I've been a member of Temple Beth-El. I think it's approaching 35 years.
Wow, very nice. Thanks, Bruce. Hello, Mark.
Hi, it's Mark Hellman. It's my first year on the board, although I've been serving the board for longer than that, because before I knew they were board committees, I've joined the budget and investment committees. So I jumped the gun.
We're glad you did. Thank you. Dean?
Hello. Also a class of Fred Franklin student here, at least 8 years. I can't track it any further than that.
Close enough. Thanks, Dean. Hello, Lillian.
Hi, Lillian Birch. I've been trying to figure it out while the rest of you have been talking. I know that I started off filling somebody else's term and then I got my own term. So I'm guessing about 4 years.
Excellent. Time goes by. Ellis?
Good morning. I'm Ellis Waldman. I started on the board sometime during Mel Blake's term as president. So something north of 8 years.
All right. Excellent. Alan?
Hello, everybody. This is, I believe, my second, I'm starting my second term, my 4th year, I believe.
Okay, excellent. All right, let's see. And I know we have a couple of people calling in. Let's see. Who am I missing? I know.
Tanya, it's Fred. Can you hear me?
We can. Hello, Fred.
How are you?
Doing well.
And
Glad you joined us.
I'm so glad to be able to do this. I believe my guess is, I've been on the board, I would say, for about 12 years or so, maybe, give or take. That would be my guess.
Have you ever served with Fred Franklin?
Never. I would never serve with him.
You're missing out.
Excellent. Anybody else that hasn't had a chance to introduce themselves?
Tanya, can you hear me?
Hi,
It's
everybody.
Terry.
Yes. Hi, Terry. How are you doing?
Hi. Sorry, my camera is not working. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. How long have you been on the board, Terry?
I think this is my 4th year starting.
Excellent. Excellent. Glad you're here. Anybody else want to pipe in who I can't see and therefore didn't call?
Hey, Tanya, it's Howard Goldberg. Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is starting my 3rd year.
Thanks, Howard. We have Howard and Fred both driving and listening in on the meeting, so they're multitasking, and we appreciate their double effort there.
Right. My pleasure.
I think that captures everybody. I've been on the board since I came in under Jill Toback, and I had the opportunity to work under Fred with the first strategic planning process, and I haven't looked back since. It's been a joy, and I'm excited to be able to kick off this board term with access to information and ability to really be co-constructors of the work that we're going to do this year. And so I want to acknowledge the contributions of Judy Mosley, who has been a support throughout the whole process. She did a fabulous job reorganizing the materials for the board that we'll go over today, and has just been a great historian when I'm looking for information on how to reach people, you know, what the process has been in the past. So thank you, Judy. And the other person that I want to thank is Betsy Schimberg. Betsy jumps in without ever, you know, needing someone to ask her. She sees a need, she helps, she has wonderful suggestions, and she actually, I'd like to acknowledge her in her role of really jump-starting the work Judy and I wanted to do around transforming the board. And Betsy has been really a beacon of light in that area and has had wonderful ideas. And so the fact that we're here today is a testament to both of them, and I'm going to add my enthusiasm onto that. And I see we have John and Bob back with us. And so I'm going to go back to Bob, and what we're going to do, Bob, introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been on the board.
So hello, I'm Bob Sandy. By the way, the speaker on my notebook computer, according to Zoom, is not working. So switch computers. And I've been on one regular term and 2 years as presidential appointee. So that makes 4 years.
Excellent. Thanks, Bob. Glad you could work out the sound.
Me too.
And John, tell us, introduce yourself to everyone and tell us how long you've been on the board. I think you're muted, John.
Sorry.
They got it. Are you up? There you go, John.
Okay, here we go. I wanted to apologize that I'm a little bit late, but here I am. I originally was on the board three years as president of the Brotherhood. And then I was asked to be on the board. I'm on my, I believe, second year out of a 3-year term right now.
Excellent.
And
Thanks,
yeah.
Glad to have you with us this morning.
Thank you. It's good to be with everyone.
And I see we're joined by a future board member, Thea, who was a fabulous student in pre-K. So the future looks bright.
She says hello.
She's so big. All right, I'm going to share my screen just so that you have the benefit of having something to orient our conversation. And if at any point in time, just Gail recommended to stop sharing so that we could look at each other and have a conversation, I'm happy to do that. So don't be shy. Before we get into reflecting on the year ahead and really starting to connect the dots with some of the feedback that you've shared through the board survey, I also want to share some of the work that the executive committee did this summer on their retreat and use that to really chart the course ahead. I wanted to introduce our Rabbi, Sarah Mack, who will give us a blessing. And I wanted to also thank Sarah for her leadership during this unprecedented time of somewhat of chaos and confusion. But what we're learning very quickly is it's also a time of opportunity. And I'd just like to acknowledge Sarah's proactive approach to leadership and the comfort that she brings as we move into a new year.
Oh, thanks, Tanya. I appreciate that and appreciate your leadership and everyone here. It makes me smile to see all of your faces, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Some of you I've seen in the building holding a Torah, some of you walking the boulevard masked. Each of those encounters also makes me smile, and I look forward to the time when we can all be together again. But grateful that we can gather this morning to look forward with excitement to the possibilities that abound even in this crazy moment as we contemplate what will or won't be with school, worship, returning to offices, all of the uncertainties that do abound. You know, as we engage in what we think of as business, the rabbis kind of make a play on that word. La'asok means to engage in business, but the rabbis like to use that word in the blessing for Torah. They say that it's possible for us to similarly engage and get busy with the words of Torah as well. And one rabbi from the Talmud, Rabbi Yirmiyah, points out to us that La'asok b'divrei Torah, the commandment and the blessing we offer to occupy ourselves with the matter of Torah, is equivalent to La'asok b'divrei tzibur, making ourselves, to engaging in the needs of the community. He equates really running the community with all of the details, the leadership that comes along with that, to being equal to engaging ourselves in the study of Torah. He says they are equivalent and equally important. And that's the blessing that we use this morning. Grateful for each and every one of you, your willingness to engage, to la'asok in the needs of our beloved Temple Beth-El community. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'tzorkei tzibur. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who has consecrated us with your commandments and commanded us to occupy ourselves with the needs of the community. So thank you to all of you. Grateful to be here doing just that on this sunny Sunday morning.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Okay. Okay. So what I would like to do, Betsy had a great suggestion about starting off our conversation, you know, as we start to think about the year ahead, and the year ahead gives way for the years that will come after, to really starting with a question for all of you. And this is where our first opportunity to use the My Mentimeter comes in. And so I'm going to bring it up. And if you haven't already, you can go on your smartphone, or you can open a new window on your computer and go to www.menti.com. I know that Betsy also put that in the chat. And when you get to that site, it will ask you for a code, and you're going to use the 8162797. And if it's in the chat, you can click on that link and easily get to it as well. And when you get to that first question, you have a chance to respond and share what you think your role is going to be as a board member during this year of opportunity and challenge. Guidance and nurturance. I can tell you they'll be in great demand. Stability, absolutely. Maintaining connectedness. Create and encourage a feeling of community despite social distancing. Definitely.
Okay, I lost the link thing.
Do you need help getting back in, Lillian?
I need help getting to the Menti thing.
Okay.
I don't see it in my chat.
All right. I can put it in for you. Give me 1 second. Lillian Birch.
Yeah, technologically challenged.
We all are. We've been spending too much time with technology. It's a blessing and a curse.
All right, 8162797. Okay, I'm not going to remember that. 8162797.
And it's right on the main screen too.
You can copy and paste.
Tanya, when I log in, it's requiring me to sign up. It's a several step process. So am I doing something wrong?
Are you going to
You just go to
www?
menti.com.
The code is found on the screen.
So,
Oh, but it's not letting me type it in.
But this is what they said, right?
Suzanne, I can work with you in the chat. Okay,
But see,
Suzanne.
it's not.
Thank you, Betsy.
Okay, it's not, the code is found on the screen in front of you. Ay, ay, ay. Help.
Betsy, do you want me to send you to a chat room?
Tanya?
Yes, Dad?
Tanya, can you repeat the code one more time?
Sure.
Short answers.
It's
What is
actually,
the role
I can put it in the chat
for-
too, John.
Okay, because I'm on the Mentimeter screen right now and it's asking for a code.
Yep, it's 8162797.
Short answer.
And I just sent it to you in the chat as well.
All right, thank you.
All right, so let's see what we have here. And you'll notice that it will scroll, so you'll get a chance to see we're back where we started before we started to have some technical difficulties. So we talked about stability, consistent leadership for clergy, build community, guiding the temple proactively to address challenges and preserve our heritage and stability, tools, structure, and process to support clergy and
Make
staff in their
sure
goals.
Members.
Tanya, on my screen, I've got this web address that's from your screen, but it's not clickable. And it's a long address.
Okay.
After the www.mentimeter.com/s/ and then many.
Yeah, that's not what you want. You just want, I just sent it to you in the chat, Bob. You just want to type in your browser, www.menti.com, and that'll take you to a voting window. And then I also included the code in that chat also.
All right. Well, the first time I did it, I tried that. And then what I got was they wanted to sell me.
Tell them you're not buying anything.
I know that, but I don't know how to get into a meeting. It says
So I would log out. I would get out of that and go into a new window, and just in your browser, in your search window, just type the www.information, and that will get you right in. So
Tanya, we can't see the results. I think that's the issue.
You can't see the results on the screen, Betsy?
No, we can just ask us to go to the next question. So I think you need to show us the results.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
My apologies. I could see it, but you couldn't because I hadn't reshared my screen.
I still can't see it. I see, please wait for the next slide.
If you look on the screen though, Lillian, you'll see it. You'll see everybody's feedback here. Can you see it on our screen?
Lillian,
no,
go on.
How do I get back to your screen?
Go up to the top of your computer and look for your Zoom icon where it says you're in a Zoom meeting, and you just click. You could just click on that.
So can you come back to me?
No.
What I've got is
So, Tanya, do you want to put me and Bob in a chat, in a breakout room?
Absolutely.
And Lillian?
You got it. Thanks, Betsy.
so Betsy, are we in a breakout room?
1 second.
Yeah, almost.
That's there.
I'm going quick. There we go. You'll pop in a second. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Any comments for the things that you're now able to actually see thanks to Gail? Settle a rabbi. I promise you we will be doing that. Decide the mission, purpose, strategic direction, acquisitions, hiring, professional leadership. This one here, biggest challenge is to create and encourage a feeling of community. That came up a lot in your board survey feedback as well. It seems that some of the themes, and feel free to jump in, folks. I don't need folks to stay muted. I'm hoping for this to be a conversation, but it seems that there's an equal amount of attention to the need to build and maintain community, as well as some of those infrastructure challenges, like settling our rabbi, making sure that, you know, despite some of the upheaval, that we're settled to be able to move forward. Any reaction that you want to share? Lead with bold new ideas. Bring them on. And while we're waiting just for Bob and Lillian to come back, the repetition of building community, I just wanted to remind you all of the invitation from Karen Eisenberg. I'm sure some of you have already reached out to Karen, but the opportunity to reach out to congregants with a New Year greeting is a nice extension and a reminder that the community, although virtual, is still there. And so I hope some of you have taken her up on that invitation. I know I got my list of people, I want to say on Friday. So I'll start calling soon. I know I enjoyed, how many people here called during the COVID calls? Some of you? Yeah, I found that to be so rewarding, and you get to talk to people that you, didn't even know, and I felt like I was making connections that would continue beyond those phone calls, which was really nice.
I'll second that, Tanya. I had such interesting and wonderful moments doing that. I would really urge everyone on the board to make these calls. Really connects you with the community.
I was surprised because in each of my conversations, when I said, you know, how can I help you? Do you need anything? It was, what can I do to help other people? How can I help the temple? It just made me really proud of our community, that we're always in a position of trying to help someone else other than ourselves. Let's see. Are we, I'm trying to say, okay, Lillian's back. Okay. Has everybody had a chance to give some feedback to this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So we have 23. Okay, excellent. So I want you just to kind of take a quick peek at these, because we're going to see these ideas come up as we review some of the priorities for FY21. There's wonderful consistency here.
Community, community, community.
That's it, the magic word. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We'll have a chance to revisit. So don't close out your My Mentimeter. You can keep that open. What I'd like to do is I would like to bring you forward in just the materials. Definitely not that one. Sorry about that, guys. We have a few too many windows open. Okay, perfect. All right. So what I'd like to do now as we move forward just and toward the preparation, one of the opportunities for this kickoff session, we've tried it once in the past where we had a board orientation and people came together. It was a nice opportunity for new members to network with existing members, to really get a sense of the expectations, to review materials, to ask questions. And so this year, we're doing it again. We've switched it up a little bit. We wanted to be mindful of how we're using time. And so this hour kickoff is just a chance for us to come together to really celebrate that we are a team as we go forward into this year. And we wanted to take the opportunity to reflect on some of the feedback that you've provided. And then also we're gonna go over the Board of Trustees page on our Shul Cloud, where you can access information to really help prepare you for the upcoming September 22nd board meeting and the year ahead. The first thing I just wanted to share is in the survey that folks responded to, we asked about strategic planning issues. The strategic plan is a document that we will finish before the first of the year, and it encompasses all of the different issues that the temple is addressing. Some of them are given heavier prioritization than others, but essentially you can see here that issues of personnel and governance were among those that we had the highest amount of interest. Second was engagement and community building. So Lillian's comment about community is woven through all of this. We had a little over a third of the feedback focused on wanting to make sure that we were moving forward with finance and building and grounds. And then I would say the next closest one was a religious school. And so these are areas that you'll have an opportunity to directly get involved with on the strategic plan. And I will be reaching out to you based on those designated areas that you indicated in your survey. If for some reason you haven't had a chance to respond to the survey, I will resend it out so that you'll have that opportunity. Any questions or comments on this information?
Mm-mm.
Nope. Okay. I can't see everybody. So if you put it in a chat, Betsy or Judy will pick it up if I miss it, and they'll stop me from continuing on. In terms of the path forward, we asked a question in that survey regarding, what opportunities are there, and I come from a field of practice that really looks at things as opportunities and not problems. And so throughout our time together, you'll hear me reframing things from that problem focus to one of opportunity. And I've really had the opportunity firsthand with this COVID situation at the temple to really see the power of that. And so when we talked about ways that we could continue to grow and to move forward with the excellence that it really has defined our community in so many ways, the two largest areas that you gave feedback on were the Board of Trustees and governance. And then I looked specifically at the feedback and how you thought we might be able to do that. And so there were three core categories that you focused on: intentional and meaningful engagement of the board. And this is an issue that we've been talking about throughout Rob's leadership. He worked really hard to get us to a place where we could move to starting to look at those issues of governance. So we really have Rob to thank for making it possible for us to make this leap. The next was really assessing the structural changes of the meetings and how we could use time, make sure that people were fully engaged and felt able to engage. And then the last was clarification of roles. So, and that included the roles of the board, executive committee, past presidents, what we've learned from COVID-19 so that we could inform improvement going forward. And I think although most of us would choose to be face-to-face with each other, it has been a gift to be able to still maintain our community connections, whether it be through Friday night Shabbat services or some of the lovely B'nai Mitzvah services that have happened, Daily Minyan. If we didn't have technology, we would be having a very, very different experience right now. And so how can we use this going forward to really maintain that engagement of people maybe who aren't able or who would choose to engage this way? And then just issues of fiscal sustainability as it relates to governance. So these are some of the things that you identified and that I'm certainly hopeful, along with the executive committee, that we can embed in our work together as a board and start to identify. There were some lovely suggestions that we not just stick to a quarterly meeting, but that we also move forward with sub work groups where people would be working in between those board meetings to really move some of these agenda issues forward. Just a quick, sharing some of the feedback that you gave, because I want you to realize that that's what's moving everything forward. This is feedback you gave specific to governance. And so just the weight of these scores was really compelling and let me know that it was an issue not to just be thinking about this year, but one that we needed to put on our list of priorities. So by the close of this year, as we go into FY22, I would like to have the blueprint for what our governance system is evolving toward. And it's going to be critical that all of you provide feedback to that. Any comments before I go on? Okay. I met with the executive committee on August 6th, I believe it was, and shared with them some of the information that was percolating up, and put out some suggestions based on the board survey about where our emphasis was. The first thing that I think unanimously was the safety of the community, and I'd like to acknowledge that we have been extremely proactive. I want to thank Rabbi Mack for convening a COVID medical committee to really help us create some policies where the safety of the temple community was put first. And that was a subcommittee of the security committee that Judy Mosley started. The next big issue that we have, and I saw that come in when your feedback on the roles for the board had to do with the settling a rabbi. And so we're going to have the benefit at our September 22nd meeting to really dedicate most of that time to Rob Stolzman, who will be walking us through the work that's being done around addressing the clergy transition. And so part of that is the interim role of Rabbi Mack. And then the other part of that is addressing the identification and moving into a search process for our rabbinate. And so our board will play a critical role in that. Some of you may be asked to sit on that committee rather. And I would encourage you to be a resource as people in the community are asking questions, or if people on that committee come to you and ask questions, to provide some feedback there. But this is going to be one of the single most important things that we do this year. In addition to that, as I've already stated, we will move forward with the strategic plan and finalizing that. Underneath that strategic plan, one of the things that I've come to recognize as critical is really doing a personnel assessment within the temple, and really looking at roles and duties and responsibilities to identify where we might need to kind of bring in some new people or diversify people's roles. And I think as we're moving toward finalizing the clergy composition, having our personnel structure set is going to be critical. And then an ongoing focus on the transformation of the governance. And I want to just open it up for just a few minutes to any feedback people have about these priorities. Do they seem to resonate with the roles that you identified? Is there anything we're missing?
No, Tanya, this is Ellis. No, I think it's a great list. I think also that the strategic plan and clergy or senior leadership transition, those two are very much aligned together, you know, because we have to be clear about what our focus and our emphasis, or the plural of that, is, and how that's going to, you know, therefore what the leadership would be. So I think those two are very, very closely tied together.
Excellent. Thanks, Ellis. Anybody else want to weigh in?
How about financially? Are we financially sound? Do we have any opportunities for this year that we have to pay attention to?
That's a great question. There is finance underneath the strategic plan. I do think the work of our finance committee, passing a budget and doing so with the waiver of tuition for the religious school, was not only an indication of our commitment to the education of youth and the kind of going forward with the strength of our Jewish tradition, but it was also a very bold move. And I know that they worked really, really hard to balance things. Ellis, do you want to make any comments about that?
Well, I really think that you said it all. And so it'll be, we don't know how this year's going to unfold. So that budget committee is going to be reviewing the budget that we created. And you'll certainly be, there'll be a lot of discussion as we move forward to see how we're doing, with the hope maybe that this is something that we can sustain in future years. so that this isn't just a bold move for 1 year, but thanks to a great suggestion, it becomes a bold move for several years, which then links back to our whole strategic plan. So I think you raised a good point, and I think Tanya, you answered it quite clearly.
I'm gonna stop screen share just to give everybody the opportunity to see each other. One of the things that that was really exciting to me was that people's interest in different committees. And so we have your responses from the survey for the committees that you're currently serving on and those that you're interested in. We've put out a request to all of the committees to identify, a report, an update of what's going on, and also to share a little bit of information so that we can make that available to you, so you can identify different committees that you want to get involved with. So I will be reaching out with the support of our executive committee who
on the ground
oversee some of they each are assigned to different committees to kind of broker relationships for those of you who are interested in joining a certain committee, to finding out a little bit more and maybe attending a committee. I think the more we become involved in the work of these committees, we can bring it into the board and we can make sure that that we're benefiting from the development that they've tapped into, but we can also make sure that we're connecting the priorities of the temple with the goals of those individual committees. And I noticed going through the list that there are some things that are listed as committees, for example, that are not. Like Minion is not a committee. And when I spoke to Lynn Rakatansky, she said she would love to have people volunteer to participate in Minion. And so while it's not a committee, it is an opportunity to support the community. And one of the new committees that wasn't listed there was that's headed up by Jody Glass, our LGBTQ committee. And so we're evolving as a temple as we should be. So if there are different areas that you're interested and you see a need and you think that there's an opportunity to start a committee, I want you to feel free to start that process and to reach out and see which of the executive committee members categories it might fall under, and they can provide some assistance with getting a committee going.
I did add that to the list on the website, so people will see
Excellent.
that.
Thanks, Judy. Thanks. Any questions, comments? How are you guys doing? We're doing wonderful on time. What I'd like to do now is I'd just like to walk you through how to access the materials to orient you to the board process. I will follow up with an email so that if there are pieces that you would like more information on, or if there's anything that you think maybe we should have included that will ease your transition and your work on the board this year, that we can know that in advance of the 22nd so we can find a way to make that available to you. Okay, so I'm not sure how many folks, can everyone see this screen? I'm going to take you to the website, the importance of the board.
Yep.
So obviously, engaging in your duties as a board member requires access to information. It requires the ability to understand where you can get information. And so Judy and Betsy and I met and we identified some of the core areas that we thought would be critical to orienting you to this role and reinforcing the role for those of you who are already active. And so we're going to go to this area. There are two sections. So let's head up there right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you come into the temple site, you have an opportunity to log in. I'm already logged in, and so what I do is I go to About Us.
And
Tanya, I think you need to.
The original.
Did I stop sharing again?
Yep.
Damn it.
You have to share that.
Hold on a second, Judy. I couldn't hear you.
I was saying
You
the
broke
same
up
thing
a
that
little bit.
Betsy was.
Okay, perfect. So we go to the Temple website, you go to About Us, click on Our Leadership. And then you're going to see the list of executive committee members, trustees. So this is if you need to get in touch with folks, you need to know who's on the committee. But if you go back to About Us and you go down to the Board of Trustees, if my cursor would allow me to stay there, and you click on it, this is a site. Can you see this? Did I stop sharing? Okay,
Yep.
perfect. So you'll see the top of it is board orientation material. And we've separated into temple governance, finance, strategic plan, temple committees, and documents for this year. You can click on the hyperlinks and it will take you to the temple mission, overview of the Board of Trustee roles, bylaws, all of the basic information that you want to review as a support for your role, but you may also want to reflect on at later points. Like if you had a question related to bylaws, this will be here. Judy also did a great job finding some videos for those of us who, you know, might be in other areas rather than finance and might want a little bit more guidance in reading some of the temple financials. There are some videos here. All the way up to a summary of the strategic plan and some of the different documents. I wonder if anybody has questions about the content in here, if you'd like me to click on anything. I don't want to just randomly click on things that aren't of importance to
I want to
folks.
make sure, Tanya, that everybody knows you need to be signed in to get to Board of Trustees because it's just the board that's tagged. So if you have trouble or don't have a password or having trouble resetting your password, just let me know and I'll make sure that I can help you walk. You can call me and we can walk you through that. But you do need to be signed in through your email address that's in our system.
Excellent. I see Gail says, thank you for the finance video. There we go. I second that, thanks. So everyone heard Judy say in order to actually get to this, this is a closed field, so you have to log in. And if you have any trouble, Judy has kind of offered herself as a resource, so please let her know and she'll make sure that you can log in with your email and a password so that you can access this. You can also, when you're on this page, if you scroll down, you have the data from the previous years. So you can get the materials that have been handed out at the different board meetings, the minutes, all of the different documents will be there for you to review. And it's a nice way having everything on the temple site so that it's accessible to everybody. And if you, as I said earlier, if there are things that you think that we could benefit from having that aren't there, or as we go through the process, please let us know. It's we kind of are approaching it as an evolutionary process, and we hope that it's going to grow and change. Any comments before I get out of this screen?
Tanya, is
Yep.
there something specific you want us to review before the September 22nd meeting?
Yeah, the hope is that you will go through those board orientation materials prior to the September 22nd meeting and just have a basic comfort level with the financials, that you know the board mission, that you have just some familiarity with those pieces.
Okay.
And Betsy just put a nice reminder in the chat. So we're right on time. We have 10 minutes left. And there's one more piece of my Mentimeter voting that I'd like to do. But I'd like to stop for a second and just offer a chance for people to give any feedback. Rick just gave a nice chat thanking us for creating and organizing information. We certainly hope it will be helpful. And it's not paper, so it's a nice way to be green as well. Any comments or questions? How do you feel about the priorities for the year? Liz offered his support for them. Do folks see evidence of the feedback you gave to the board survey in there? Do they feel consistent with what you're hoping to do this year? I see Amy nodding, Lillian. Okay, excellent. And again, we're hoping to continue what Rob started at the end of, I think it was maybe after the first of the year last year, where we started to have the board meetings be more small group work sessions. So when we got there, we had committees send their reports ahead of time so that that material could be reviewed. There was less talking to and more working with. And so we're looking to continue that as an opportunity to take some of the sub work group and communicate that at that level. Also to use it as a way to really maximize the limited time that we get to work together, and to the priorities. It's a little bit lofty, I know, but I think as we're getting ready to settle our rabbi and to potentially welcome a second rabbi, that we want to make sure that our house is in order. And so in order to get to that place, the first half of our year will be busy. The second half will be incredibly exciting as we participate in interviews and we really start to look at the potential of what our community has been evolving toward. And so the hard work in the first half of the year will definitely pay off. And I know that we'll all play a critical role in that. Okay, so now for the last piece. I know the original email for the board orientation, we were suggesting a 4-hour Zoom. I pretty much Zoom all day, every day, all day long. And even 2 hours sometimes is enough just to make me feel like I'm on another planet. And so Betsy had a great idea of breaking it up into 2 sessions. And then when we started to look at things that were happening, I don't know about some of you, but my son was going back to school. And so the 2 August weekends started to kind of explode with no available time. And so we thought that you're able to look at those materials, that the real work we want to do is on strategizing and really looking at that small group work. And so we've decided to have this be a 1-hour kickoff, just getting us together, celebrating that we're a team, that we're going to be moving through this year together, giving you access. And then we'll have our first board meeting. And as I said, Rob Stolzman, I've asked if he would be willing to take the bulk of that meeting to really lead us through that transition plan so that we know what to expect and how to support it. And then we thought after that meeting, it would be a critical time. You will have exposed yourself to all of the different materials that are on the orientation site. We'll have heard about that critical transition activity. And then we'll be in a position to really start to break into some of those smaller groups and to start to really actualize those priorities. And so because of that, we thought the first week in October, the Sunday or the Monday might afford an opportunity for us to come together for 2 hours to confirm the different areas of interest and to really start to put a plan into play. Betsy and Judy, am I missing anything about the intention of that October session that you want to add? Okay, perfect. And so I see Betsy just put reminders in there. So in setting up that October meeting, we thought the best way to do it would be to invite all of you to help us.
Westchester.
Westchester. Someone's trying to put in some directions into.
No, my nav is working, sorry.
It has such a lovely sound. Mine does not sound nearly as friendly. All right. I'm gonna bring us back to the My Mentimeter. And I'm going to do it directly so that I don't stop sharing your screen. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to go to that second question. You're going to go back to the same exact link that you used, and if it's still active on your computer, you can just go to the next question, which I've just advanced. These are the different options. So we have 3 options for October 4th and 2 for October 5th, and you have the opportunity to vote on the options that will work.
Eight, 1, 6, 2, 7, 9, 7.
There we go.
Select an option. Okay, October. Form. Alright, October.
So far, the October 4th, 10 to 12 has the most feedback. We've heard from 12 folks. $14, $15. $19. We're almost up to the 24 folks that are here.
Just so you know, October 4th is the first day of religious school if it affects people. I mean, it's virtual, but they're going to have 2 Zooms going at the same time is the problem.
Okay.
I was going to point that out. Thank you.
I don't think that information was had been concretized when we set these dates, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I just thought of it because I know it was added to the calendar.
Bob Oster speaking.
Go ahead, Bob.
From the conversation just previous, this is going to be an in-person board meeting, or is this? I'm confused. Is it Zoom or is
It'll be
it
Zoom? We don't have the luxury of coming together in groups of this size.
Okay. The only reason I thought, well, never mind. But it's Zoom. Thank you.
And I think I've gotten so accustomed to not being able to meet with people that I keep talking about having meetings, and sadly, none of them are in person.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm always by myself looking at smiling faces on the screen.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks for clarifying, Bob. Judy, if you were concerned about the Zoom because of the access to a link, I thought you were saying it because parents, anyone on this committee with children in religious school wouldn't be available. I'm using my own Zoom account for this. Yeah, I can.
No, we have plenty of accounts, Tanya.
Yeah, so it's a
plenty of
parent.
account. We have 4 accounts.
Right. So you're talking
It's
about
just the
parents
parent
wanting to help
side.
their kids. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
definitely
trying to-
a reasonable.
I think we could probably work around it on October 4th, honestly, given the timing. And it might be really nice for the board to meet, to come to Tefillah that first day.
Oh,
That
that's
actually
nice,
might be a
Sarah.
really beautiful intention for our work together. And then maybe we can find another way to break out, and different age groups are meeting at different times. So I actually think it's within the realm of possibility.
Thank you. Thanks for that can do. Appreciate it. I love the idea of tefillah. Okay, so based on the feedback on the screen, it looks like the 10 to 12 is the better option. So we'll work to get some information out to folks, and we can finalize it further from there. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I know we are right at 11 o'clock and I wanted to make sure to honor people's time. I know it's a Sunday, the end of August, and it is nice out and I hope you get to go do something nice outside. Any closing comments before we adjourn?
Thank you. Good
Tanya?
meeting.
Yep.
I don't know if everyone's aware, but Mel Blake was in the hospital last week.
No.
Yeah, he was in the hospital. we found out he was at our Brotherhood meeting from his hospital bed. So they said, they said he may be getting out this weekend.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That's good to know. We'll reach out as a, on behalf of the board. Thank you, John.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
John. We did
You're
not
welcome.
know that.
I wanna, I'd like to thank all of you. I know there's so much everybody's juggling, and for some of us, a Sunday is the only actual day that we don't have commitments of things that we have to do. And so I'm really overwhelmed by the presence of everybody and the commitment and the fact that that you made this a priority, which tells me that going forward is going to be a piece of cake. You know, we've got some serious commitment and power in this committee, and I think that when we come to next year's annual meeting, we're going to sit back and have such a sense of accomplishment and pride in taking our temple to the next leg of its future, because we will be making some pretty significant changes this year. So I thank you in advance for what I know we're going to create together, and I thank you for making today a priority.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Right.
You
You
too.
too.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thanks, Sarah.
Be well. We'll see ya.
Thank you too. Wow, nice. Oh, I think you're still muted.
I just wanted to say great job. That's a lot to push and pull and try to run the Zoom and help people. And you kept us on time and we covered what we needed to cover. And that was a great
Thanks,
job.
Betsy. Thanks. And thanks for always just being so proactive. Can I just tell you, it's so hard in this position because everybody is so busy in their jobs, and even the temple staff.
Yeah.
And so there's a limit to your comfort asking people to do things. And so I can't tell you how much it meant when you said, don't forget to ask for help.
Right.
You know,
right.
And the fact that you help without even asking, you know, having me ask. And so I'm really excited. I'm excited to have you as an executive committee member, but I'm excited to get to know you as a person.
Yes.
So
and Naomi asked, she said, oh my gosh, you get to work with Tanya Glantz. That's amazing. Naomi, and I'm like,
Jacob liked her so much.
First in line at Tanya's fan club. So
please give me my best.
I will. Great job. Yay. We're off to the races.
And I tell you, when I looked at the acceptance, it was, you know, only 15 people. And I was like, oh my God, you know, but then not everybody knows to accept an invitation. So I can't believe what we turned out with.
Yeah, on a Sunday. So that's
amazing.
Great. It's great.
Amazing. So go and do something fun.
We will. And I also think that because you ran today so well, it was so organized, it started on time, it ended on time, people will be more likely to come to the next one, right? It was informative. And
good. We got to make sure that happens on the 22nd. I'll work with Rob just in terms of maybe doing some breakout spaces as part of that. But I think we're moving in a good direction. So
great job. Go do something fun yourself.
Thanks. I will.
Right.
Take it easy.
Take care,
Bye.
Bye.